channel because we're soon to lose our Twitch host from time to time as he's back to work and the COVID pandemic is not keeping him home. Regular cast here, Benito here with Matt, Jake, and John, and their wonderful cast of characters they're playing. Last we left for you guys to get a quick recap, but now this is going to take a little bit longer for us to get back in the session, because I'm also back to work with everybody else. You guys had run into the first, your first encounter with the 9, and found out that they didn't really want to start a fake fight yet, because some of you are fake touched, and they have looking to try to take out the other members that were not, but you creatively found a way to circumvent them, make your escape, with them kind of like lurking probably well behind and likely very upset that they weren't able to accomplish any sort of pressure on your party at all. You made it to Flowerdale, found it to some of your dissatisfaction as a town of defense of any sort, but you met the local adventurers there, and that kind of did a little change. You lost Spoke. Spoke moved on, and Alec decided to join the party from her adventures she has had, and that all got you accompanied by her friend Vivian, which I say loosely. The stone you were given to Aurora, she went off with the local wizard there as well, her friend Valerius. They're going to go to St. Augustine to get more information and then meet back with you in a short amount of time. So that gave you guys opportunity to get all ready. You guys geared up. Everything was in working order, and you guys are kind of like setting out of Flowerdale at this time. So that's where we are. So in your party now, you have 3 NPCs. So we have Pepper, the ranger. We have Ubenn, the right now kind of forced, compliant, I should say, compliant Drow fighter. And now you have Vivian, your rogue replacement for Spoke. So here we are.
Spoke who just
and
left
we're
us.
to go.
So we're basically on the road or ready to leave town?
Oh, we're on the road again.
You are, yeah, you basically just left the gate. So let me do this.
On the road again.
So this is Flowerdale here, where you guys are. You are trying to really get to what you remember as Forstad, which is directly south to where you are.
Yeah.
Now, the Bleak Woods can be rather troublesome, but you can circumvent that all the way through to the very highly large city of Kylos, which is, I'm assuming, where you might decide you would like to go.
Well,
is that true?
We know our goal is to enter the Underrealms to get to the Drow City at some point. Maybe we can consult this map that I purchased, although I think now it's slightly suspect thinking that the Laughing Mask is the one who actually gave it to us. But it might show us varied and sundry entrances to this area we want to eventually travel into.
We have a guide there, so I think we're fine once we get to Forstad as far as how we should go. But you can go to another major city, and that would probably be the safest route. It looks like it may be slightly longer, or we could take the troublesome route, which is more direct. I'm in favor of the more direct route. It likely way, as well as hone our tactics and technique as a group. We have new members and ones that we have barely fought with at this point.
Oh, you want to go through the dangerous way to get a practice run?
We will not hone our skills simply
Grind some monsters.
but simply by talking about it. Well, I am willing to continue to do so, and if that is the way we must go.
The other issue with going the direct route is there is no real access across the river unless you have plans for that, how to do that. So unless Larry is flying a lot of people.
I can only fly so much.
Time frame at that point, you wish.
And I can walk it.
You probably don't think you could walk this one because this would be the lower part of the river where the waterfall is actually running stronger for a current. This is a very powerful moving river and very wide, so there could be difficulty just with that nature of itself. You could go to the lower city.
Can you see the map again?
That is all. Yeah, I'm bringing it up. So you could go to this city over here, Living, but again, that's now way much more distant, and then you have to come all the way across. I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say Alec knows. If you're late, you could give your time to get to Kylos, because once you get into this area here, it is known to have very large reptilian creatures. Or should I say?
I was gonna say Saurus Forest.
Yeah, or should I say dinosaurs? So,
Put that in.
did I not mention I bought a lot of minis that were dinosaurs? So yeah.
Oh, damn it! And I gave him all kinds of neat dinosaur ideas without even knowing.
You fool!
Apologies, fellow warriors.
Now? Including NPCs, how many do we have? In the
3
party
also have
total now?
Rico, who's now considered an NPC at the moment because we haven't got rid of him yet. So you have Jew, Pepper, Ubenn, and Vivian.
We haven't got rid of.
So that's
Can't even give them away.
8 of us total, I think. I do have the magics to let us all breathe water for 24 hours. So
Yeah, that won't help us.
right, or downriver a little ways, then we could certainly cross
Mhm.
with less distress and difficulty.
If there are giant lizards and reptiles in that forest, I think that will provide us the kind of training we need and technique we need. We should go to the city. Then we don't have to worry about the water crossing specifically.
Did you say there was a note that somebody knows a bridge that gets across that river?
If you get to Kylos, there'll be ferries and stuff that will track you really anywhere you want to go because there's.
Well, isn't Kylos on the other side of the river? We have to get across the river to get there.
But they have they have ways to kind of setting everything forward because of their
I'm
trade.
guessing there's probably like a ferry spots or bridges or something.
The buildings there, they'll ferry across there and all the way down here. They'll get you here because they operate around all of these other dynasty capital cities around. So it's a booming. It's the human empire, more or less, at its highest regime.
Except for Jurassic Park over here.
Yeah, the lower part is the very is Jurassic Park in every essence, with with a bit of these cities being very more steampunkish. So they're more the aerial things and stuff like that. It's a very mixed.
Well, I know I'm the new member of the group now, but I think going through the city would be the smart way to go as well.
It would certainly give us a jumping off point with resources and
We
supplies.
should also look at making sure we start taking opportunities to gain silvered weapons. We already know that
How
eventually
about
we're going to fight
just
like
silver?
anthrax.
We're kind of broke.
Yes, but we're going to need weapons to handle some of the threats we're going to start coming across. So, sounds decided. We head for the city.
So Pepper will again take the lead. Everybody else following line suit.
Yep.
Okay. So you're on the road. You have your goal intended. Anybody like to strike up conversation as you walk the journey between the mountains to the to your northeast, really kind of taking most of the sun away from you. So it's a bit of a shadowed vale area that you're walking through, and the forest below. But the travel is not bad. Where you choose, it's very sturdy enough to make it easy.
Today's roll on the bag is a 7, so that's a dire wolf. Woo!
Have a dire wolf.
Have a dire wolf with us today.
That's pretty bad.
No ferret.
Ferret has his uses.
Dire wolves are freaking huge too. So you have this big old beast trailing you.
Oh, do we have to feed them too?
No, it'll pick up.
So I'll ask him to again run the flanks and just be aware of anything approaching or that we're going to run into in our path.
Okay.
I'll stay around the Drow, basically keeping an eye on him, but also just talking about military things. Trying to just strike up a conversation. If he's part of their military organization, I know there's significant differences in command styles between Drow armies and our type of armies, but I want to get a sense of his style of army and his style of command, specifically
Roll a
his
persuasion.
command of others. $17.
He gets you kind of like, he kind of gives you an essence that they do a lot of fodder techniques, but he's being very cryptic. You can tell he's still not buying much into you. He's giving you a lot of stuff that you've already seen before in that regard. But he's also, it's not like he doesn't actually lead a lot of people himself personally. He's more like the overall strategy, or does less stuff personally too. So he's been kind of giving that type of information, but he's still holding back.
In all honesty, I kind of respect the fact that he's holding back, especially given the nature of his oath to us and what we're embarked upon. I get it, so I can respect that, and I won't press much beyond that. I don't think I'm ever at this point. I'm ever going to get into an interrogation kind of way. It's more of a swapping stories, while I won't give away command and signal, that type of thing, but I'll talk about camaraderie between soldiers or between sergeants and soldiers and commanders and soldiers. The way in which people respect each other versus how we do or what tactics we use. That's kind of what I'm more talking about.
Anybody? You're kind of trying to get more out of Ubenn. Anybody else like to do talk to anybody else on the road? And of course, all these conversations are well open to other people hearing, so you can start joining. If you want to join in the same conversation, you can as well.
And I'm probably sticking mostly with Vivian at the moment, just because she's the person I know in this group.
When HK is done talking to Ubenn, I'll kind of try to just keep building my camaraderie with him. Being the friend in the group type, like I've been doing, talking to him. Maybe ask him a little bit what he's liked about that he's seen so far on the surface. the surface world is so
Interesting.
different from his, and what kind of things he's enjoyed.
All right, also roll a persuasion check, and this time I'm going to give you advantage because of the different fact of choices.
12.
Yep.
Medium persuasion.
Um, really fun. You will find out that he doesn't really. It does distract him, so he's not as keen in fighting during the daylight as in night. However, he does enjoy the vegetation more. And you know how that kind of like feels and stuff compared to the rockiness. He likes that softness compared to the hardness of the underground.
So he likes likes it when we're in the forest.
He enjoys that type of feeling because it's just different. You know, the closest he could remember that would be like a moss patch, but the fragrances and stuff are a little different. Wilderness is still wilderness, no matter kind of where you are monster-wise. He's alert to that aspect, but he definitely kind of likes that regard there. But he doesn't have. He seems to be kind of hesitant because you do have, in all truth, 2 new other faces that just joined the party, and one of them has elven features. So he seems to be kind of guarded now. You both pick up on that.
I think for the most part, travel-wise, I'm going to be up front with Pepper, as she's really kind of the guide in this, and you know, I'll be basically the communication between our forward scout and our trail guide. But I do want to engage Vivian at points about, you know, the faith of Apollo, and apparently she's not particularly militaristic about it, so her viewpoint could be kind of interesting, since mine is a different viewpoint as well, from the cleric faith versus I'm doing it as a warlock.
Vivian is the prefix of road. Aurora is the one who's left.
Oh, Aurora. I'm sorry.
Vivian is road.
Well, then it's totally a different viewpoint, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
no, then I won't need to worry about Vivian. I mean, I'll certainly say hi and you know, just keep the quiet conversation as we pass and stuff. But I don't think I need to engage Vivian as much as Aurora then. But definitely, you know, keeping with Pepper. I mean, right now she's our pointer and letting us know where to go, and I'm going to be the communication between me and the direwolf. So
Yeah, she feels very she's definitely saying it's kind of helpful knowing that the direwolf is there as your guardian, so to speak, to help in a situation. But you're feeling that the path seems to be pretty secure. There doesn't seem to be a lot of she's not picking up any tracks that seem to indicate too many hostile type of creatures or races that would be looking for.
Do we have to worry? Are we worried about the werewolf troop being this far south? Have they pushed into this area yet that we're aware of?
What was that again?
The werewolf troops, you know, that we've been kind of trying to avoid. Do we have information that they're in this area to begin with? Have they got here ahead of us?
They would be more in the far west. They seem to be more linked to the Countess at the Thing's Fort. So this would be a pretty far stretch run for them. Not impossible, of course, because of their capacity, but you don't think you'd find much involved. You seem to be in a very a pretty safe area because of the dynasties to the Far East that are very strong in current military affairs. And Ju will actually have told you he actually served for one of the dynasties in the Garden of Gaia. So they are very combat orientated kingdoms.
So right now we're not feeling that there's a lot of concern that the Lich's forces have moved in here yet, and at least not in force.
Right. You think there's much more into the northwest where he's trying to make his push. But again, this could also be different from you haven't quite got what the Drow are doing this because they are the far south element. So they have this alliance going on. So you have picked on other things with Ubenn, but not actually why his house was sided with.
Well, I was questioning of Pepper, what she might know of the area around here and the activities of the forces we're trying to avoid and combat at the same time.
Yeah, well, again, she's mostly with what she thinks now from what being with you is the Countess's army. So Ripper Jack has apparently been operating mostly through the Fey Forest and the west part of the Bleak Woods. But there are areas that have not been, she hasn't seen them very far. Because you guys kind of came up through the Bleak Woods from the southern part in your very original start to this campaign, and you were not running into werewolves. You actually ran into the hag and stuff like that. So his operations should be more operating in the very far northwest area, and mostly around the Fey Forest. That's where Pepper ran into a lot of that.
Then we'll travel at speed and keep to the path.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? You all satisfied? All right. You will march to about a day. You basically got your day in. It's getting late, so Pepper will hold the group. Have you guys set up camp? Now you have to come up with new watches because you have a different person, a person playing a different person, and an additional party member. So your group is now up to size 8. How would you like to do it?
Lee, you look okay. I thought he was talking. He's muted.
HK is still willing to stay up for 4 hours, and definitely during one of his watches, the Drow should be up. And I'm assuming he has the same sleep situation where he can basically hold for 4 hours. So I think we can just do watch together.
I can certainly take the middle of the night again, where I'm capable of seeing in the dark.
So you want to do the first watch, HK, with him?
Yep. With Ubenn, we'll do. We can stay for 4 hours, then you only have to worry about the last 4 hours of the night.
I'd probably be better off on the last 4 hours than I don't necessarily have the dark vision.
So let's see.
I can go with HK and Ubenn. I like to stick close to HK.
Okay.
But you only need to be up for 2 hours. So 2 hours in, you bed down. We'll take the remaining 2 on the first half of the night.
I'll have the companion of the wolf until dawn, so he can definitely help out through the watch time in the middle of the night. I'll also have Jean with me, and then if we can structure the camp so that it's hard to come at it from multiple directions, I can cast that guardian spell at the beginning of the night, and that'll last throughout the 8-hour watch shifts. They can kind of protect the entrance to the camp.
Pepper can set up some alarm things around. So Jew will take mid-watch with you, and I guess Vivian and Pepper will finish off. So you guys basically have the NPCs.
All right.
Group. All right, does that sound good with everybody?
Sounds good.
All right, so
Well,
basically first watch, HK. So HK, Ubenn, and Alarian, you guys, you see everyone start to quickly bed down and head to sleep. The 3 of you are up with a small smoldering fire, or you guys want no light?
I think we should keep it minimal.
Okay, so low fire, kind of screened.
Yep.
So you can kind of keep the smoke breaking up. So it's not. It's just really if you had to be close to the area to see the light. Okay. Is there anything you got to roll perception checks for me?
Ooh.
No,
All right.
don't do it. Ignorance is bliss.
21.
13.
Too late.
All right. It seems pretty quiet. The woods are alive with the normal sounds of for bugs and blade birds, whatever like that. And there doesn't seem to be any really issues or things that make you jump or scared or wandering visitors that shouldn't be there. You feel pretty assured by that. Is there anything the three of you wish to discuss amongst yourselves why the other people are supposedly sleeping, which they should be sleeping if they want a full rest?
Quietly just talk about something completely non-mission oriented. Like I just talk about places that I've gone. I won't talk about missions, but like communities people have seen, and I want to just talk about different oils that I've seen in different places. Like I make a habit of wherever I go checking out their infused oils. I just think it's interesting because I don't eat. It doesn't matter to me so much, but I find it interesting that different places have so many different things that are quite unique to
What's
those
your
places.
favorite?
And I think I think it's a rather mundane type of oil, but there's a different kind of I guess scent is the best way, or consistency of the oil that we got in Greenleaf. That I really enjoyed. I thought it was neat. Everything else just feels different, and I thought and I liked that.
What was the what was the one in Greenleaf? What did it have in it?
It really wasn't infused. They actually kind of looked at me oddly when I asked. I think they were going to try to infuse some stuff just to kind of keep up with my questions, but that was the first time around, if you know what I mean. I didn't really get back to that conversation the second time around.
Cool.
How about you, Aaron? Things that you found that were kind of unique in the different places you've been?
Well, we've had some interesting drink and food, but it's been interesting traveling to other places, trying out the fair. Company has been interested in these places, especially Funksport. There were some characters to be found.
Certainly. How about you, Ubenn? Things that you've seen since you've been on the surface that you found unique to various areas?
Roll another persuasion with advantage.
$21.
Okay. He's feeling the comfort of you guys. The fire crackling behind him. You guys are sitting on the thing. He's like listening to you talk about your oils and the food and things you gotta learn. He just goes, I really like the poetry of the people of the cultures that I've been coming across. I have not been able to really learn expression when I was at my home. And I find the words soothing.
The bards, especially the ones in the South, are masters of their craft. You find the right ones, whether they put their words to music or not, they will delight your ears, as well as tell you great tales and stories of different places. But just the way they craft their words, I liken it to the sound that a finely crafted sword makes as it is when it's being given to you and the blacksmith does the final sharpening. Just the sound of that stone and the metal as it glides across is a perfect symmetry of your ears. That's what I think the bards of the South are like. A stone on metal.
Yes. I'm not more into the funny little lyric songs that are made up by bards where they're covered by their musical instruments. I prefer more of the poetry alone. A master who writes thoughts that go deep into one to push you to think on that level. That has been my interest.
Yes. Much like the story of the man
Interesting.
from Nantucket.
Yes. Well, Alarian, you can bed down so you can get your spell sleep.
And
That leaves you and Ubenn awake by yourselves, HK.
I'll just ask him to talk to me about some of the different poems that he can remember and where they were. It's just so I can kind of maybe even catch the name of one of these bards or what have you.
Yeah. Another persuasion check. This time straight up.
Not nearly as good. 8.
Yeah. With all this talking, he just he's still trying to keep that tough guy element. He felt like he's opened up enough to that regard. But he will ask, we have had such a different footing, me and you, and I see that we are beginning to play this dance of styles. Are you trying something here, Hephaestus? I know your friends want to meet around to be more friendly. I'm still not sure they understand what they're getting into. You do. So what is your actual play here?
Warrior to warrior?
Warrior to warrior.
I respect you. I respect and trust you at your word. And it is because of that deep level of respect that I know there's going to be a time when we are at odds. I find myself regretting that at some point because while I have all of my close friends, it has been a while since I've traveled with a soldier with a warrior's bond such as you and I share. I kind of miss that. I think my analogy of the sword and the stone would have been lost on most. That said, I can't let go of the fact that I am always in preparation for the fight that is to come. But more importantly, I do think I want to get to know you as you and less about that will be tactically sound. Fear not, I will probably continue to ask questions or have conversations along those lines, but this firelight conversation was exclusively about sharing a warrior's bond.
See, what are the two new ones? You have not spoke of them or scrutinized them as well as you have of me. But yet you walk with someone with a very shadowy persona that has not put you on your guard.
I have every intention of pursuing those conversations as well, but in due time. I was struck by the conversation this evening and this afternoon, so I took the opportunity for that. But I have been keeping an eye on them and trying to get a gauge for their level of skill. That's usually where I start.
Okay. Just curious to how you did things. Because you do know we are a bit now walking with royalty.
This Vivian?
No, she's the one I told you to watch out because she's shadowy. But I find it curious that a maiden of a elven house in St. Augustine was so quickly joining your party, and you guys didn't make much of a big
I
stink
did
about
not
it.
realize she was of royalty.
Well, she's been fighting down here in the south, but her name now puts two and two together from what the Countess was after. How strike is a very powerful house.
So you were telling me we are walking towards the Drow stronghold with a elven noble?
Yes, you are. And a very capable. Her father, although I heard is lost, something to do with battling the Archlich, is a very known commander out of St. Augustine. So her last name and her thing, although somewhat obscure, isn't difficult to track info about who she is.
That is good to know. I'll have to adjust my defensive strategies. I'm confident her other, the shadowy one you mentioned, is likely here for that exact purpose, however.
Not sure. She's good. I don't quite got a read on her yet.
I think as we enter this Saurus Forest, these woods of lizards, we shall have opportunity to see for certain.
Well, in case you haven't noticed coming out of Fang's Port, if having her going into Kylos would be more of a problem than in the forest. In the forest, you have the advantage. If she gets you in the city and she's the wrong kind, we're all screwed. Kylos is a very, very, very large city. It makes Fang's Port look like, Flowerdale.
If we can stay out of the city proper, perhaps keep to the outskirts, maybe we can avoid some of that challenge.
We're going to need info and resources. I'm just saying, if you don't know her, she's going to play. That's how rogues work. I've seen a lot of them work. The Countess didn't use many of them, but I saw many of the other gang. Again, that's soldier to soldier, technique to technique.
I'll definitely take that to advisement. I think it might be time to wake up the next watch.
It is. Rest
Indeed.
well.
We'll talk more on this in future watches.
Okay. All right. You've been down. You wake up Oleski, Jew, and the Pixie. So, Oleski, I need a perception check.
I'm on perception. Ooh, 15.
Okay. You're also feeling pretty confident that you don't think anything out of Norway. You hear the bugs, all the noise, frogs, all that stuff. The force seems to be quiet. There doesn't seem anything looking to enter your camp. The alarms have been quiet. June can't see shit either.
Well, I'll let Jew stay near the fire, where there's a little bit of light, so that he can be active, and I'll do the walking, like around the perimeter kind of thing.
Okay.
Or I could send him out in the dark to practice sneaking around like he wants to do.
He's good, right?
But I'll just do kind of the slow pacing.
Okay.
Collect my thoughts, keep my thoughts to Apollo. Take this bit of time to, just align myself with my faith and those kinds of things. You said Pepper did set some traps, so we'll obviously not go far enough to set those off. But yeah, we'll just keep it quiet and keep alert.
All right, seems pretty good. So you can wake up the next watch. But before you bed down, can you give me a percentile roll, please?
Oh, percentile. 51.
Okay.
Wow, dead even almost.
All right, all good. All right, Alec, you are up with Vivian and Pepper. So it's really not bright for really much of it. So there's a lot of dark. So most of you are near the fire. What would you like to do with the two NPCs?
Who'd you say I had again? I'm sorry.
You have Vivian and Pepper.
Vivian and Pepper. I suppose I'm mostly speaking to Pepper then. So I've heard tale of like your recent exploits with the you said they're trying to prevent the opening of portals so that something doesn't get through this evil goddess, right? Am I getting this right?
Yes, that's what we found out.
And where were you here? You went to Fengsport.
Yes, the first one's in Fengsport. The other one is in the Fey Forest. Valerian apparently was killed and reincarnated, resurrected as Wizard. And now he's part of the Summer Court. I've actually joined the Spring Court. So there's three of us that are Fey Courted or touched, or somehow they say that. And just the Shadow Queen has made one, and then the Drow House is the third.
Interesting.
But we stopped the one at Fengsport. Our friend spoke who left to do his own personal thing, helped steal one of them. And then dropped. Apparently he switched sides.
I had never heard of that before, but as it is, I suppose. So interesting. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, why did you decide to come?
Why did I decide to come? Oh well, it's kind of a complicated story, I guess. But we have been looking for all of us, my original party that I left the city with. We've all been looking for missing parents who are all in the Stars of Brilliance company, and they all went missing. And we found a couple of them. As you found me, we were sending our friend Quarrick's mother home so that she might rest. And I heard you speak of the Dark Sun and vampires, all things we've run into. I figured it must all be connected, so I wanted to see this other side of things.
Yeah, it's definitely sounding connected. I mean, your priestess there, Aurora, seems pretty knowledgeable about what's going on.
She's been very useful in that way.
She seems pretty cool. Okay, and so Vivian here, she's looking for a parent too.
Oh no. No, she's just some rogue we ended up picking up because we needed information, and she drives a hard bargain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Vivian kind of lasts that.
I wouldn't suggest you doing business with her, but live your life the best way you want to, I suppose.
Yeah, okay.
These
kind of
roads are tricksy.
Lately. All right, sounds good. All right, your conversation pretty much is pretty set up, and you guys are all able to wake everybody up. So camp starts to break. Pepper goes about breaking up the traps, so it's not as bad. And you guys are ready to hit the road again. All rested. spells I hope you wanted to have there. Okay. We're on the road again. Same formation.
Definitely.
Well,
Anybody like
let's
to do
see
anything
what
while you're on
my
the road?
roll for my beastie is today. Let's see. 4. So that is the boar again. So okay. Boar.
Yeah.
Not quite as good a sentinel animal as a direwolf or a panther, but
It's a step down. Gonna be honest.
It may bring a predator actually and help people away.
I hear
Maybe you can
bacon
find
makes
truffles.
good oil.
Maybe you can find some truffles along the way.
Good.
You could sell
Ah.
them in the city to some of the restaurants.
Wow. Leonard's become
Makes
the
Make some extra coin.
okay, get some more money.
I
now
still
he's not
have quite a
mayor.
bit. I'm frugal. I'm frugal.
All right. Anybody like to do anything with anybody on the trail this time?
I will kind of spend the day just kind of as we walk, and certainly any breaks, kind of hang with the warrior woman, and just kind of get a sense of kind of what she is talking about with others, and then try to join in those conversations. I'm not really sure how to approach her just yet. So
Who are
kinda,
you following?
the shadowy
Vivian?
Vivian.
Yes.
Because Alec is also as a woman, sort of a warrior too. So I gotta make
Okay.
sure.
I'm just a bard. I'm not a warrior.
You better be a
she's a
warrior.
fake
Because your sword's
toad.
down. Okay. You are. She doesn't really talk a whole lot. She's with Vivian and kind of there, but she's definitely just kind of like moving along. You have a sense that she's athletic, but you're not getting a read on what her deal is. She doesn't seem to be happy about anything. She doesn't seem to like. She's puts a somewhat an odd amount of trust in your group's capacity to move. So a little bit of that probably annoying flower tail aspect where she's not hyper alert or paranoid like you like to be. But her gait is smooth moving. She looks good in that aspect. I mean, she's an attractive woman in that regard, but other than that, you're not really picking up on a lot of what her gig is. She is adorned with a lot of throwing knives, so that seems to be more her play style, and leather. That's pretty much what you're getting a lot with short swords. It seems like she's part mostly distance aspect, but yeah, she hasn't really engaged. You're really getting a sense that her and Alec aren't really that close. From their from the way they're walking along. I mean, you have been talking to like Ubenn with a much better friendship than these two have been interacting since you've now met.
So about halfway through the day, I'll just ask the question. So how did you and Alec meet?
Assigned to her.
Assigned.
Aside. Do tell.
Oh yeah, my employer worked out a contract with Alec's party, and somebody had to go with him to make sure that was being collected. So I got the deal. It's pretty shitty, actually, but I have to take a pay as I get paid.
So how long have you been traveling with this group?
2 months now.
Right.
It was all after that dragon thing. Things got really pricey.
So
Only you could have taxed that dragon.
if I may,
Future wise, I think we would think to come in, Alec.
Who's your boss? Like, who assigned you?
Dancer.
Tells me absolutely nothing.
There's also
Hey, like,
Prancer and Vixen.
I mean, is there? I mean, are you from a group? I mean, are you a mercenary cadre? A full-fledged
No,
military unit?
proprietor of contracts is what we do.
Proprietor of
And how long
contracts,
is
like
this contract?
puffing out of that.
A while, a long time. Alec's got a lot of things going on that I'm pretty well connected to information. Not me personally, like having the information, but I can get the information that Alec needed to find a lot of stuff that she was looking for, like that Archlich and what was kind of going on, some of the allies and things. So Dancer, my employer, can really do a lot of that. So that ended up with our contract work. So yeah, that's how I got to know Alec and all the people that she hangs around with. And she left her boyfriend, which is kind of amazing. I don't know why you're shaking your head. The guy literally makes flowers in the middle of Bay Forest.
They were very nice flowers. It's a nice gesture.
He's like your boyfriend.
Ugh.
I'm part of the summer court. That's what we do.
Cool. All right. Whatever that does. What about you? What do you do? Are you the leader of this
no.
band? Or is it the wizard?
I would say we are a group of brethren who fight, and we each have areas of expertise. So we defer to whomever has that area of expertise.
Oh.
I personally am here to protect each of them as they
I would say that you look like defense.
as our group has a tendency to wait in slightly ahead of ourselves, myself included to some extent. So while claiming no superiority, defending my brothers is something that I am uniquely equipped and prepared for.
I think the word adventure completely means you're going to wade into something well above your head before you know what you're getting into. That's what I found out.
Perhaps. But we go where angels fear to tread.
No, that's true.
That said, I hold true to my word and my code and my defense of my brothers and those who travel with us. So as long as you travel amongst us, you will have my protection.
Ooh, you're a big, charming warrior.
He does seem like a nice man.
I am what you see. This is not armor that I wear. This is who I am.
You are a
I
man of
am.
metal? Do you pee?
No.
Vivian, please.
It was on everybody's mind. That question.
No.
Okay.
Then I gotta get an insight. Was it on his mind?
Roll.
On her mind? As far as I'm concerned, it certainly was. I rolled it too. Los dos.
She's comical, but you're not. She's keeping you really off balance. Ever since you met her in the house, you haven't quite figured out what she's all about. She's playing all off. So she wasn't too sure, or she was insulting you on purpose. You're still not getting much of that.
Just assume it's yes to both.
So she's like, all right. Anything else you want to know, old Lord, old protector of this wonderful band?
How far are you willing to go to fulfill your contract and protect Alec And by virtue of that, her mission.
Her contract's not protecting me. Her contract's to take things from me.
He's a profit. So I gotta cut my losses. I'm cutting my losses. Sorry. She understands that really well.
HK, to put it mildly, you are more likely to protect me than Vivian.
I see. And this too, I shall make adjustments to my strategies.
Well, I'm part of your band, so now we're on equal footing, right?
I will
Sure.
protect you. On that, you have my word.
Great.
As long as you are a dutiful member of this group.
Beautiful indeed.
Did you hear that, Vivian? Dutiful.
Yeah. This presence is
Sorry, Ben, you're breaking up a little bit. I'm losing you.
She goes, it's funny that the Tin Man is the one more worried about what our issues are compared to the other guys who are living, breathing people. What's their story? Are they just, loners or
Nope.
something?
This is
Somebody
what I
kicked
do.
their-
I'm a
I'll rub the
defender. Therefore, I defend from threats within and without.
So the very good complexion guy, the one chasing the ranger, they something?
Chasing.
Well, he's always with her in the front. I figured that they were an item. Didn't we go off together the first time we met?
We are companions, and what they are is for them to yet discover.
Oh.
Ooh.
So are this group a mercenary band, or is this a friends with benefits situation going on? Who's taken and who's not?
Until you are something other than contracted, everyone present is taken.
Even the wizard guy?
Especially the wizard guy.
Ooh, you really are defending of him.
That's what I do.
Something. Any more interrogations, sir?
Oh, this wasn't an interrogation. This was pleasant travel conversation.
All right. Right. Super pleasant.
Of course. Ask my dear friend Ubenn. When I have chosen to interrogate, it has been a much less pleasant endeavor.
Are you allowed to have a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever you're into? Does your type of things get into that, or are you destined to have a solitary life as well?
I have my mission.
Ooh.
That is my focus.
Vivian, stop being so impolite.
I just want to know who these people are. Motivation is a very impressive thing, and this guy is all about his duty.
You're all here about information.
That's what I get paid for, Dancer would like to know these things. I gotta ask.
I would like to know this dancer.
No,
You don't want to know, Dan.
The one thing that me and Vivian agree on, you don't actually want to be a dancer.
Okay, well, tools.
You got it. That's pretty much my conversation for this day.
Okay.
On that,
After about an hour of you guys traveling, Vivian will make her way up to Illyrium.
I'll be there.
She goes up and goes, "What was your name again?"
Firebrand.
Oh, Firebrand. That's an interesting title.
It
Good
is.
name. Is that a wizard thing to do? Just to give yourself a cool fire name?
No, it was given to me by Queen Titania, the Summer Court of the Fae.
Oh, impressive.
A member of the Fae Court. Interesting.
I gotta ask, where did you get the big metal guy? He's a
We didn't get him. He's not a possession. He's a companion. We've adventured together and saved each other, and we're brothers. I didn't find him in a corner or a yard sale.
All right. Well, he just seems different because he's not, he can't drink or anything, right? Or
So
feel real love. I don't
he
know.
has feelings. He does not need sustenance like you and I, but he's a living creature with a mind of his own, conscious.
Mind for duty, though, right? That's
That is,
to serve. That just seems like the same thing to me. I don't know.
that is his will. Oh, that's what he wants out of
I
his
mean, you
life.
can't
is
deny
to
that you
help
can find
others.
plenty of humans who only care about duty.
Yeah.
It's true.
It seems you're only after your duty to obtain things that Alec gets, from what I've heard. Seems that you're of a similar ilk to HK, and that duty is your driving force.
Yeah, but I could enjoy my time while I'm collecting. It's not like him, which is like, look at
How
him.
do
He's
you
back
know
there
he
staring
isn't
at me.
enjoying his
I'm just saying,
time with his companions?
just what I get. But hey, if you're good buddies, that's I don't want to seem offensive. Just ask more questions. Just get a general sense. A couple days on the road, all kind of new.
Perhaps
So.
you just don't understand him.
There's a lot of things I don't understand about adventures, but I got the lucky draw. So we'll put you on the road. Do you actually enjoy hunting down vampires and stuff?
Do I enjoy it? But it's the mission we're on. It's what we. It's much like it. Okay, it's my duty as a emissary of the Summer Court to stop what we're trying to stop.
See, so you are a servant as well.
In a way, yes.
So we're all servants to something. That's amazing. Alec had the choice to coming at her on her own, so I guess that's different.
Everybody has their own motivations and paths in life.
I mean, I would argue that I left because of duty as well, but I suppose you can call it what you want.
Oh,
well, why don't you enlighten us then, Alec, of what this duty you set out to accomplish? What set you upon this path?
I've set out to find out more about the Dark Sun, who may or may not have taken my father. I wanted to bring honor to my family and prove my worth to them, since they often find that, let's say, they find me wanting.
Perhaps you may have something more in common with Ubenn than you would first think from looks.
Perhaps.
Maybe the two of you should converse sometime, get to know each other while we're on the road.
That sounds like a fair idea. Then maybe
As a bard, he is very interested in poetry. I don't know even know what kind of bard, what your specialty is, but he's very interested in poetry.
Oh, I've become very attached to this salute. Kind of like slap it on my back.
Interesting. Do you know any good songs?
I've been working on a few.
You ever heard "Maiden in the Shed"?
No.
It's a famous song. Famous song.
Famous song must not be
Not-
from where I
Not
am.
one of the greatest bards to ever live.
Oh, well, you should sing it to me sometime. I'd love to
Yeah,
learn it.
I'll I'll think of it. I'll see. Try to remember as much as I can. Maybe in the city we can find somebody that can teach it properly. Yeah, I'm a wizard. I'm not much with music. I'm more about getting entertained than entertaining.
So, what brings? So, you simply are out here with your companions, then?
Yeah, well, we're trying to stop these portals from being opened and the god of silk being unleashed upon this plane. I guess would be a good way to put it.
Sure,
It'd be
sure.
bad for everyone.
Well, we do love not having
probably-
the end of worlds.
Yeah. Probably bad for business, Vivian.
Oh, that would be bad for business?
Oh yeah. In the way that there would be no business,
Oh.
a complete
See.
lack of business, unless
Complete lack.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like Vivian could figure out a way.
It's not all my plan, Alec. I told you that.
Uh,
Simply, you're supporting already your contract that you made out.
You look like you would probably make an interesting plaything for one of these beings, as much as you love leather and such. But I'm pretty sure that's probably not the type of business you want to be in, being a plaything. So you might want to help out Alec in the long run.
I'm not going to try to see. I do want to make us money, so I'm going to help all of you out as I can, but I'm just not going to get myself killed doing something in that regard. So if it's calculated and safe enough, I will help.
Well, then you might want to just fuck off down the road because we don't do anything calculated and safe.
Well,
more loose and by the seat of our pants.
It's like I said, not my fault.
well, it does sound more like my speed. So.
Well then, welcome.
All right. You'll be able to make one more camp session before you before Pepper will tell you that you'll come upon the city of Kylos. So are you going to keep the watches the same, or would you like to change them?
I'm not going with Vivian. I'll tell HK, I'll be like, do not let me be in the same watch as her.
That wouldn't happen anyway. No.
Sometimes I
In fact,
I don't think with the right one.
In
So.
fact, Ben, when it is time for me to take my rest, I will position myself standing right next to where Aileron is, because I don't have to sit down or anything. I can just stand up, and I'm actually awake and aware. So my passive perception would be inactive. So if anybody tries to engage with Aileron, I would have the
Okay.
opportunity.
She doesn't seem like she's doing anything at the moment. So it'll be up to Elarion because you guys actually have first watch.
Right.
You're doing this?
Yep.
So that means Aaron's with you, and then he'll bed down after. So it'll actually be when you're it'll be when you're resting that she would.
Right. And during that cycle, I'm still conscious. I'm just basically down. So my passive takes over. As long as I'm standing still, I'm still getting my full rest.
All right. So the watches are set up the same. Is there anybody who wants to do anything particular during the watch? I'm not going to make you guys do any checks because nothing's going to happen. It's too close to the city. But if you do want to have a direct conversation with somebody privately of your watch, you may do so. So I guess
I'll talk about some more oils and stuff, but just casual conversation. I will share with Ubenn my conversation with the shadowy one, and then unfortunately she doesn't share our bond. So yes, you are correct. We need to keep an eye on it.
okay. He did
In fact,
overhear. He overheard anything on the trail.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't quiet. So everyone heard that, but you can now tell
yeah,
specifically
I am
that you're
definitely
now concerned.
concerned, and I think his watchful eye, whereas I'm a little bit more overt, she might not be paying attention to that as much. And that I will do my best to whisper and be very quiet with, in case she's awake, trying to
Okay,
pay attention to what I'm doing.
For the three of you, so Alaren, you're part of this, as Ubenn goes. He goes, get to the camp thing. He goes, she's a Brotherhood of the Last Embrace. They like to tattoo themselves, so I noticed it now. Now that I was looking.
That sounds vaguely not good.
Sounds menacing.
Actually, you guys might want to check your history. His name doesn't come to you. Let's put it that way.
Say that again, Ben. You cut out.
It is the Brotherhood of the Last Embrace. A title that you probably heard before. You haven't. In several places. But you remember, you guys got retconned in
Was
right.
that the band that was out of? It was a session that I was not involved in, where they met. Is it that group?
It is
that group that they met when I wasn't there.
You believe you have connections with them in Greenwood. You believe it was the warm cloak. Songbird, it was the one that she said that she claimed to be part of that group from there. And you put that there were members in somewhere in Kingsport, but you didn't quite actually make contact with them. So it's a guild that started to take an interest with you until your time rewinded.
So they are, while not inherently evil, we still need to watch their motivations. Though they have presently, at least in the original timeline, they were aligned with us in our initiatives.
Yeah, the one that you were directly opposing was because they actually had a tie connection to the Countess, was the cult of the Night Guard.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that was the group from the session that I wasn't there, so I vaguely remember it, but I don't.
Yeah, some of that information got loose.
I don't have it all written down. Yeah.
It doesn't quite as, I mean, it's a name you're aware of, but again, all this stuff doesn't much matter because all the things that you did accomplish with the group originally got retconned because of the thing. So naturally, you have now a member of that in your group.
Now, Ben, refresh my memory. We weren't given any kind of physical token from that original timeline.
No, they Songbird came to you, blew you guys away with her ability.
Yeah.
And then told you that you guys needed to watch out because of how they because of how the other guild operated, and then try to set something up. So before things got set up, it got taken away. Because also too, Alaren was governor or mayor of the town, which again they would have had a tavern established at. So there was a little bit of a possible working relationship. But you now have saved the mayor. And Alaren doesn't have that type. They don't have that same need.
So we're not in the
in that
same
regard,
esteem with that group that we were in previously. Further, they don't even know us. We actually know more about them than they us at this point.
they could possibly know of you, but they don't have a reason to interject them at the moment because everything you did right now has been at turbo speed compared to what you guys did before. You guys were going at a crawling space to figure out where the stone was, what the gate was, wherever to try to work. When you got retcon, you guys immediately saved the mayor, took out one of the members of the cult. Bam, went out and got the stone, and then stopped the ritual, got the stone, and took right back off, skipping right through Greenwood in the middle of in a day, and went right on to Flowerdale to drop off the Bloodstones. So you
We're
guys are on a
cooking now.
breakneck space. That info is right now. Yeah.
We're
So-
cooking.
Yeah, and like you just made that contact, and boom, you're on the road again. So they probably know of you, but there's a lot of things. Defining factors are just different in perspective for what you have laid in, and you have never went this far east with Flowerdale. So apparently, this Vivian is connected to Dancer, which is apparently another part of this this guild. And I think I did tell you. Songbird kind of told you that it kind of came this far east or farther that this information was important. So Dancer probably could be the bigger linchpin to a lot of things prior to you guys retcon.
All right.
And probably talking more with Alec and Vivian could pull more of that basis out for you if you guys asked the right questions and got the right answers, so to speak. Both of them seem to know him. And we're going to be joined by Jew.
Oh,
Okay, so that's anything else with that? Hello.
he's on the beach. He
He's
didn't say he was going to the beach.
Better late than
Yeah,
never.
you're in the woods.
I'm in the woods.
Okay, I'll try to quickly recap you because your watch is actually coming up. Jew. So basically, the party has dropped off the Bloodstone with a priestess of Apollo named Aurora. She's going to try to find more information and protect the gem from being taken by the forces that are trying to create the ritual with a gold dragon that
Oh,
lives
gold
under
dragon.
St. Augustine.
Fun.
Yeah, the party is going to try to steal the other Bloodstone from the Drow houses so that you can stop any type of, you can kind of break the dynamics of the groups up for having to get the ritual open, because they still believe that she can still come through a gate, but whoever holds the more stones will have more influence on her. So your group wants to remove that. So you went on the road. Before you went on the road, Spoke said he found personal information about someone in his family's sister, and he had to leave the group to go find her because he thought she was dead. The group that you found Aurora with, she was with a lot of adventurers. Some were there, some weren't there. And you were joined by Jean's new character, Alec, who's a half-elven bard, that you will now learn that she is part of a royal house of St. Augustine. And an NPC who is a shadowy person called Vivian, that this group just learned out that she is part of the Brotherhood of the Last Embrace, in a contract with Alec. She's not really there on her own will. So you're on the road. You've got 2 days. You're on the second night of camp. These guys will wake you up, and you'll be with Alesky and his pixie.
And his boar.
And what? It is what?
It's a
Boar.
and a boar.
I don't see the boar as much of an animal as anything else. So we'll
Yeah.
let it sleep or whatever it wants to do.
Cook 'em
A
on the
boar
fire.
can do some shit.
That pissed off enough.
It's certainly an attack animal,
Look
but I
at-
don't really see it as a guard animal.
Look what it did to Robert Baratheon.
It was in the script.
Well said. Well said.
Okay, I missed a lot.
Baratheon's plot armor failed him.
Yeah.
What?
There was
What
no
happened
plot
to
armor
Spoke?
in that series.
Gone.
Spoke wanted to found out that his sister is alive. He thought she was dead, so he was going to go off to do that. to find her, and he didn't want to bog the party down because you guys were need to stop these rituals from being created, but his need for the family made it happen, and it's John's request to kind of get out of a character he wasn't comfortable with. So he actually had another character, another one of my campaigns in this very world with similar campaign stuff going on, which is Alec, a female half-elf bard of the Royal House of St. Augustine.
Very famous baritone.
That's very cool.
You know,
so
5th edition.
she has opted to join the party to help out because she thinks the similarities are there, and she wants to find out if she can help, and also maybe find out more about her needs, which is her lost father, part of a company that went missing against the Archlich. However, when she joined, another member of this party, which is another NPC called Vivian, joined the party as well. Kind of much to Alec's surprise, as well as probably the party just accepting it. But you've come to find out that she's a member of the Brotherhood of the Last Embrace and contracted to get some type of profit off of Alec by someone else higher in the guild than her. So she's kind of been sent as an assigned duty to her. So those are the two new people that are part of your party, as well as Ubenn, who is the Drow that you once fought, and we're going to rank them off or send away to something in the fighting.
So we still have that guy.
Yep, he's and your party has been working very hard to make him feel accepted and wanted. Possibly changing his mind about his commitment to.
And I'm guessing HK has a whole heck of a lot to do with that.
Actually, surprisingly, Alarian and Aleski have both worked two different surprising and impressive angles on him to get off his guard to be more relaxed. He has not been the prick that you remember when you first got him.
I've taken to studying under him as a fighter.
Ah, excellent. And a boar.
Yep.
That's the best. I get tricks. I get to draw an animal every day. Yesterday was a dire wolf. Today's a boar.
Oh, we're
looking at a giant rat.
Okay. All right. Well.
Very well. So we're in the woods. We're on guard.
You're going to the city of Kylos. You'll be there in the morning. This is an area where, in your background, you actually fought them. The city.
Oh.
You fought for the other side in the war.
Fun.
Yes, but you're a deserter now, so you're picked up by
Reckland.
I did not desert. I fulfilled my contract. And
I did not know. Oh, he was a deserter. Did we know that?
Not a deserter. I fulfilled my contract and was allowed to leave the army.
Are you sure?
Positive. One does not desert and go AWOL.
Okay.
So you said the night's going to go by fairly quickly. Can we have breakfast conversation before we get on the road?
Sure. All right. So morning, you guys will all wake up in the morning. All of you are together, ready to set out once again. So now Jew is attuned. As you're taking your secret jokes. You guys are terrible.
Inside military jokes.
Sorry about that. Two old war dogs.
I love, as long as they're in the chat thing, go to hell. I mean, go for it. All right, so Lesky, do you want to talk to the group in general? What was
Yeah, well, so I understand that we're potentially going to arrive to the city today, somewhere during sunlight, I'm imagining still. The last time that we entered a major city, we were not particularly prepared. So I'm thinking I would like to establish goals, intents, and kind of a how we're going to do it kind of thing before we get there. Obviously, we don't know what kind of city it is, so it'll be difficult to make any kind of real plan. But what is our goal here? What are we doing, and how are we going to do it?
I should know what type of city it is if I've fought here before, correct?
Yeah. Everybody can make a history check. Jew, you can do it at advantage. I'll give information to the group based
Nat.
on the collective.
Nat 20, so 21.
Oh,
Or should be good.
Well, it was established in 1272 as a small fishing community.
Welcome back, Jew.
17 it grew into a household population of 3,000.
John Squire, the original settlement, individual that settled the land.
All right, so this is the large city. This is the river that you'll be coming across. So you'll be entering from this side coming into this. You will now, because of the roll, you will know that that large structure over here is called Castle Katagata.
Wait a minute, man.
It is.
The city actually has a wall around it?
Yeah, I told you this is a major city. This is the human empire. This is a war zone. The Garden of Gaia might be considered a lust and fruititious world, which has allowed populations to grow considerably. But there are five dynasties that fight amongst themselves in this area. So this one here is ruled by Lord Demos Hawkins.
hey, that sounds familiar.
I wonder where. And he has lost his wife. Apparently, a dragon attacked this city once, and his wife was
eldest
killed,
son is
and he has
very handsome and cool.
What the stories keep coming out. So you know this. That is one of the biggest things. It is a city devoted mostly to Zeus, but all the deities are worship of the Greek mythology. But Zeus is the predominant because the royal family is all about Zeus. They're definitely about making sure that all severe donations are giving to him overall, because he is the father of gods, and Demos and his family seem to follow into that mindset. The place is just packed with anything you can imagine. Some dozens of inns, places to shop. It is wealthy. They work with silver because there's a lot of areas they go out to mine close to the mountains that you're next to. Plus, they have connections with the riches of fishing industry with what they have internalized, and also they're kind of a connected merchant hub between the dynasties, also getting stuff out to the other parts of the Isles Speros. So everything that might go up to St. Augustine, out to the famous port area like that, or some of the inner places, the Flowerdale and stuff. There's a lot of trades of goods that can move into that port there, and also get things down to Forstad and places like that are pretty difficult. So they seem to do a lot of commerce things going on. However, there has been, they have been engaged quite a lot in war, and they have suffered losses in that regard to that point, but you haven't heard too much lately. It was a few years ago before they had a lot of problems, but they seem to be on the rise once again. So that's kind of what you know. It is mostly human, but all the races are in there because there's just so much population in the city of Talos. Anything else?
So again, what are we here for? What do we want out of this city?
It was going to get you across the river easily to Forstad, because they would have ferries both ways. The rule, and then across to the other side to the tricky route that you guys can get to. to the land of the dinosaurs.
Okay, so we're just
Jurassic
seeking
Park.
passage. That should be easy enough.
So Ben, if I may, what is their? You said that the war zone, the different empires are constantly at war. As close as they are to Forstad, what is the relationship between Forstad and
The dynasties are in opposition of each other. They're not in opposition of any other kingdom at this moment. So Forstad has its own issues with the underground because of their militaristic mindset, but they don't. There's no opposing with any of the dynasties.
Okay.
They actually help with getting mostly the type of food goods that we need, because farming is produce that Forstad needs, but the technology and the other metals is what Forstad can get back. So there's definitely a big trade amongst the city and a lot of the
So-
other dynasties. in
So
that
just
regard.
on site,
So-
Ubenn could encounter some difficulties traveling through and around the city then.
Ubenn, no, they don't have. Their opposition would be anyone who would be carrying colors of one of the dynasties. Let me see if I can get that.
So hopefully they took all Jew stuff when he deserted, or he got rid of it all, so he doesn't have any of those colors.
Yeah.
He ditched it
Okay.
all when he went AWOL. Hey, we had no idea. We just learned that tonight.
Not dessert. And Rayron, what happened to Firebrand?
Well, it resets every time I sign in.
Oh, okay. Just your name. Okay, I didn't know if you actually name
Stop
reverted.
reading into things, Jew.
No.
Sorry,
He
I
gave
missed
up on
an
the fire
entire
breath.
session, so I'm playing.
Zoom always goes back to that one.
Yeah.
Replaying my character in that game. I just didn't do it.
It's got to be a setting somewhere because my Zoom remembers the last name I used.
Yeah. Mine too.
Yeah, there should be a checkbox that says remember, although you're on your phone, aren't you? So it might be
Yeah, I'm on
different.
my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really why?
yeah, my phone probably looks different than everybody else's stuff.
So really, we might pick up some supplies, but we're just really going to look for directions on how to find the river and keep moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just pasted a bunch of stuff on the chat board, so hopefully I'll try to help fill it. So there's the Hawkins dynasty, the Angelos
chat board?
A
dynasty.
messenger? Oh.
Messenger on the chat thing on Zoom.
I
Is
didn't-
that to everyone?
I
Oh,
didn't
maybe I
see.
didn't get the header. Okay, here
Oh,
it goes.
yeah, it just went through. Yeah.
So there's a Hawkins dynasty, Angelos dynasty, Bactritis dynasty, Diakos dynasty, Philo dynasty, and Hespesis dynasty. Hawkins and Hespesis are the two dynasties that you see close to each other that are at war, because they share the west side of the Garden of Gaia. The dynasties have different allegiances and pacts going to that, but Hespesis and Hawkins are directly and have been fighting for over 5 years that you're aware of. So Rico, a Jew, served in the Hespesis dynasty several years back, or a year back, or something like that, for fighting for them against the Hawkins dynasty. So that would be the only issue with going into the city. All of the races are welcome. There's no other animosity towards any of that, because they don't fight anybody else. They've just been fighting amongst other humans.
Is that thing after the name what they're known for?
Yes,
Their major.
that's the big
their major thing.
and I didn't write for Hawkins, but Hawkins would be silver, which is silver and lumber, and a lot of gardening. They're able to do a lot of growth of vegetation as well.
Okay.
all these capitals you can find on the map as well. That's where each of the dynasties are pretty much located with all that stuff. Yes. Well, most of you are the Greek themed world was most of your like. So you guys can enter the city. You should have no problems unless you guys cause problems.
Nope, I have no intention of causing problems.
Yeah, me neither.
Same. I am carrying no colors of any specific kind. I did not desert. I am not looking for any
I
trouble.
shouldn't have any problem in St. Augustine colors, should I?
No, like I said, St.
Yeah.
Augustine is not an opposed. All the cities they actually give trade to St. Augustine.
I was going to say, if they're trading with them, I should be fine walking in. Yeah.
You actually would have influence.
What
Because
city is St. Augustine associated? What dynasty are they associated with?
They're
They're
not.
not listed.
That's a separate area.
Oh. Okay.
St. Augustine is up here, where the high elves mostly congregate, but there are other races that are part of it. But it's mostly a high elf society that is part of that.
Okay.
So this whole area here, this land structure is the Garden of Gaia, is the dynasties. So each
Okay.
of these locations, those dynasties, and there's Kylos, there's the Hephaestus dynasty that was part of that. So that's where that fighting in between that Rico will remember a lot of this area because he comes from the northern area up here in his background. Okay.
Nope.
Any other questions?
North side.
All right. So morning will come. You guys have eaten. You guys hit the road. And then you basically will see that marvelous walled city of Kylos. It's a huge structure. It pretty much takes much of that peninsula part of land structure that the river kind of forks away from. There's a bit of community on both sides before the walls, and there are ferries going back and forth between the river. Very well set up, very well structured, no real danger. It's just going to cost you guys with your amount of group just a gold to ferry across, the 8 of you.
I got it.
Still, Firebrand's got that. And we'll get to the city.
Oh, damn it.
As we get to the opposite shore, I'm also going to tip the guy a silver that took us across, just as a thing.
All right, cool. All right, you guys. What are we doing? Okay, so you guys can come across the gates. There's so many people coming in and out of this place. The guards are there, but again, if you're not causing a ruckus, the military doesn't seem to be too concerned. The military also are very Greek in appearance, so they have the very similar garb of the large shield, spears, the Greek helm, and the colors are light blue and white is the colors that you're seeing out of Kylos.
Familiar.
So I have the same style helm and the same style garb, just obviously on a larger scale.
Okay.
And my shield,
Well, your
and my
shield is,
shield is different.
Kite.
But
Yeah, because their shields are all round. They have that. They definitely go with that type of thing. Okay. So entering where you guys come from. The first tavern you'll basically see a tavern on the right that you enter called the Silver Dragon Inn, but of course there are many other places heading down.
Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt to get a meal before we move on. And what time of day did we arrive?
I'm gonna say almost afternoon, so I'll say 10:30.
We're not
Almost
in need of
lunchtime.
any additional. We're not in need of additional manpower. Nothing. We're not looking to really do anything in this city, correct?
No,
I
let's
mean,
get through it.
Yeah.
No.
Your party of 8 now. There are 3 NPCs allied with you, so you have an additional amongst your own classes. You now have a fighter, a rogue, and a ranger amongst your group. And Alec now changed to bard to give you a little bit more magical punch as well.
We have our own traveling theme music. Every good hero
do.
needs theme music.
You do. You do.
First movie reference in a couple weeks.
You've had better. I'll take it, but you've had better.
What are you talking about? That's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, but just stay on the reference delivery.
Yeah.
True. I'll give you that.
It was the reference itself that was wanting.
All right. So,
HK has spoken.
did you want to go in the inn, or do you guys want to travel around the city and see a lot what's going on? This is a mind-blowing city. I think for just about everybody except for possibly Jew, who has sort of kind of seen a lot of this early on when he was with Recklin. Not anyone. A lot of the other ones, I don't think you have seen much of this.
It's a big city. You can get
It's
lost
definitely-
really easily.
Well,
I definitely don't recommend that we split up because you get really lost really quickly in there.
Alec, you are also accustomed to very super large cities. This is pretty standard. Although yours is an oddly multi-level, which is very similar to Hephaestus on a much grander scale. But it does have some, at least the upper levels of St. Augustine has some higher structures. You're seeing a lot of this as well here. Probably the only difference is the castle attachment is the only thing you have never really kind of experienced before in a civilized kingdom, so to speak.
So I guess the first question is, are we staying or are we just booking our passage and moving on?
Well, like Oleski said, I think we can stop for a bite to eat, something to drink, kind of.
Well,
But I don't think we need to stay.
do we know where we're going to book this passage? It might take most of the day to do that, so we might have to book it for the morning, tomorrow morning, and then
Well,
have a place to stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where we're going to find this.
It's going to probably take a day to get through one part of the city to the southern part of the city. Like you're coming from the west gate, you'll need to go to the southern part gate and then get to the river to there. So it's probably a day travel through the city, and you can definitely probably get, when you get to that other location, you might want to definitely bed down before heading out of it into the to the boats, the ferry, I should say.
All right, then we'll make our way that way. If we need sustenance, we'll around lunchtime we'll stop then, I guess, and get something.
Maybe they have food trucks here.
Who's going to lead the people, your party through the thick streets of?
I will.
Okay.
With
Maybe with Alec
Well,
or something.
I'll be right
somebody that's
I'll be
been
right
around.
beside HK because I'll have a little bit of.
You
sense
actually
of-
have experience with the city, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, you should be in front.
it's been a minute.
It looks
but
different when you're not pillaging.
I'll bring up the rear to try to, like, if we start to like lose anybody in the party, maybe I can like make sure we're all gathered.
My
I
goal,
tend
my
to
goal
wonder, and then my
is
body
for
blows.
Ben. My goal is letting Jew kind of lead the way, and maybe slightly off him, but not allowing anybody to pass between us. So effectively, the two of us will shunt people
right,
around.
You're hurting. You're hurting. You're hurting
far
us.
away.
Jew, I would need let's
There's no
do
hurting.
Here we go with my navigation skills.
let's do perception because it's not really survival because you're kind of just guiding us. You're doing your best to figure out from one point of the structure to another to guide you through. You'll have advantage on the roll because a number of people are helping you
All right.
make that happen.
Ooh,
First
good
roll's
for,
a 22.
for advantage.
22.
15.
Well, this is just you helping him, so we're going to have to Juice play. Alec, can you give me a perception roll to make sure you're keeping track of everybody of your party?
Hey, another roll was a 1.
10.
I'm
right.
keeping my eye open for any cool shops or anything I want to wander away to because
Okay.
Alec's not watching.
Mom's not watching, so.
All right. You guys pretty much will make most of your travel there. Then you end up kind of like in a central square. That's Firebrand when a couple interesting things catch your eye. You will notice a little off in the distance there is a interesting array of sigils that look arcanic amongst a number of buildings. Probably like 2 of them, but there's some towers, like towering buildings behind it that also force a lot of arcanic things on the building as well as tapestries and stuff. It is a blue owl with like a white mask that you see a lot of heraldry against those buildings with, again, arcanic symbols that are over that. There's an interesting tavern that has a lot of like rose gardens around it and very flowery and stuff, but overlooking pretty much the central area to that as well. And there's a huge temple of Apollo that you guys just walk into in the center court from that as well. So that's what the party kind of sees. Alec, as you hit the bigger thing, everyone kind of like gravitated. You kind of lost Firebrand in your
I'm
count.
wandering over to those arcanic symbols and everything. Yeah.
Damn it.
So I'll call out to HK just because he's the big guy in front.
Can I
see
him,
Lost
Ben?
man?
First, roll perception to see if you can hear over the crowd, because this is a very, very busy city. And Alec is holding the rear right now.
5.
Okay, so you're yelling. They have a purpose. They're military men. They have a mission. They're the guys who point. They're leading. So that's going forward. Firebrand's walked away. You don't know where it is.
I don't have any clue as to where he might have walked off to.
No, because it could have been. It was somewhere in the
Okay.
crowd. He could have been left, right. He could have stopped. You could have possibly walked by him. He's kind of like not that flamboyant in his attire. He hasn't really. He's visible, but he's not like overly crazy in that thing. So he's kind of fitting in with a lot of things. Like I said, people just kind of going through merchant cars, carriages.
What's the average height of people in the city? Yeah.
Definitely 6 feet would be the average height.
Okay. Because he's 6'5", so he might stick out a little bit.
Would be if he could actually roll a good perception.
Sure.
So in that case, I'm gonna like grab hold of whoever's like right in front of me and like really get their attention. Like,
Okay, that's Vivian.
what's that?
That's Vivian.
Okay. Well, I grab Vivian, tell her we've lost a guy.
That sucks. She says.
Yep, you did.
Would you like me to go?
That was the wrong person.
Yeah, actually, I would like Vivian to try to track him
Okay.
down, and
So
I'll
she
try to
goes-
stay with the group.
She can move the rope. You kind of push through. You'll get up to Aleski after about 10 minutes. Aleski, did you want to stop? You see the hugest temple of Apollo you have ever fucking seen.
I should make my appearance and my presentations, but I would not want off so much as I would inform the group of I would like to stop at the temple and make my prayers.
Would you like to tell the lead group, Hephaestus and Jew,
Everybody.
or the back group?
I mean, well, I would
Well, the
definitely
part-
want to tell Hephaestus because he's the defender guy, so he's going to have to adjust his strategies, knowing that I'm not in range, so to speak.
How are you going to tell him?
I don't know. I would kind of like, I don't know, walk up and say, hey.
Okay.
I do want to, I would like to go to the temple and make my prayers and my introductions.
Okay. So HK, you just came up. Leslie came up. And told you that.
Then I'll stop. I'll tap Jew on the shoulder. We need to stop here. We'll follow to the temple. We'll wait outside.
As you stop, Alec is able to kind of push up and engage with you guys to let you know your situation.
You lost Firebrand.
Damn it!
No sugarcoating that one.
I sent Vivian after. She should have some good experience in trying to track him down. I don't know where he wandered off to though.
We need to make sure. Let's get to the front steps of the Temple of Apollo. That's where we'll rally.
All right.
I'm assuming, Ben, we can see the
Oh,
temple
right,
from
the temple is
reasonably
easy
far
to
away.
find. It's the center point. It's glorious. It's beautiful. It's a ray of sunshine.
I am sure with a temple this size, it would have the resources to provide us with a bit of shade and comfort and food, a la per my background ability of getting shelter.
As
for my
long as I
party.
know how to get back to this point, I'm gonna go out and search. I will make sure I am never far enough away that I can get back to this point on the hour. So I'm gonna go look for Firebrand and return every hour. So half hour out, half hour back, and in a pattern so that they know when to see me. So and I will always let somebody know which direction I'm headed. That way, if for some reason I do not return on time, they know which
All
direction.
right, Alessi, are you going to take everybody inside the temple, or everyone's just going to kind of wait here? So
HK is kind of
finds your wizard.
determining the plan in this regards for finding a lost sheep of our flock, but to make arrangements with everybody if they want to take a moment to rest while HK searches.
This seems like a good place to take a rest here, and let's just keep this as home base for now until we get everyone together again.
Yeah.
HK, before you head off, I'm gonna pull up my lute and give you a little song of inspiration. Like, you're really tall and you can see really far. So you get to add a D6 to any saves that you or checks that you have to make,
Awesome.
if you want to.
Is it just once or is it?
Roll your D20, decide if you want to add the bardic inspiration, and then use that if you want to. But you have to use the bardic inspiration before you tell Benny what it is.
But it's a
you
one
can use it
thing.
once.
It goes away.
But
once
if you're
you
coming
use it.
back every
Yeah.
if you're
If
coming
you
back
spend
every
it.
half hour, I can keep decking those onto you all day.
Okay. Well, I'll be coming back once an hour, a half hour out, half
Yeah.
hour back.
So don't be afraid to use.
Ben, I'm gonna go ahead and start looking.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me see how far Firebrand gets. So Firebrand, you're just like, wow, this is my world. This seems super cool.
Yeah.
I
I see all those cool symbols and shit on that tower. I'm like,
yeah, this seems to be information on a scale that you've never even seen before. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go right towards the. Would you say it was a tower
It's
that had all this?
but there's a couple like larger buildings that seem tower-like in the back of these other ones. But it looks like a number of buildings that seem to have this blue owl with a white mask heraldry, but they're ruined. You definitely identify all the arcane ruins.
Okay.
right off the bat.
What do the ruins say?
They're just magical. They're just magical words.
Okay.
Looks like the things upon the building that you're getting it, but you just notice that that's what they definitely are part of. So it's like a spirit of something or ethereal couldn't get through. That's the stuff that you're reading word wise. You have to physically walk through the door.
Yeah, I'm definitely just going right in.
Okay, as you're walking up, there's a gentle tug on your elbow as you move forward, and someone in a very pleasant voice that you recognize as Vivian going, going somewhere?
Yep, right there.
And what's there?
That cool ass building with magical symbols on it.
Okay. So you're seeking adventure all by yourself?
Yeah, right. Do you understand those symbols?
No. I only work with coins.
Yeah. Well, here's a gold. Go spend it. I'm going in there.
Okay. And she lets you go.
So she understands. Going.
What is
I warned you guys about Vivian, and it was like, whatever.
Mission accomplished. She
I'm
found
going
him.
in there. She's not stopping me.
Okay.
She fulfilled her contract. She went, searched,
she
found.
sure did.
No following
Alexia
instructions.
understands. All right. Just give me an investigation roll, please. And this will be at disadvantage. No, I'll let you do it straight. I'm gonna let you do it straight because it hasn't been
Investigation, which I'm good at.
I mean, this is HK. You're good.
Oh,
HK. He's trying to you. You're in the building.
So I need
you're fine.
an investigation.
I wasted a good roll.
I'll add that D6 now.
Well, if it's really bad, don't bother, because then it's not worth it. If you're just gonna fail.
Oh yeah, I probably shouldn't then.
One plus
Yeah,
D6
one plus
do
D6
it.
is
Always a one.
Yeah, nope.
No. Okay, so you're a man of discipline, a soldier, but these crowded, moving people, your head is kind of like spinning. You just don't know where he possibly could go, and it's a lot of the way you're looking about it. Give me one more investigation roll. This is if you happen to encounter Vivian on her way back.
And I will add it this time. Actually, I'm going to roll 16.
Okay. By luck, a few moments later, like you kind of been walking around the square, looking, and then you just catch Vivian, kind of like almost middle of the courtyard, heading back. You come close enough to basically get her attention.
Vivian, have you found him?
Yes.
Where is he?
He paid me to let him go.
There is the sound of grinding metal. Perhaps you should let me know where it was you last saw him. And by let me know, I mean take me there.
And what's it worth for us.
What do you mean? What's it worth for us?
You told me you're equal setting, so you're not the leader. He's not the leader. I gotta pay it fairly. He paid me a gold to go do what he wanted to do, told me to bugger off. So I led you to him, kind of like breaking up the rules of your party dynamics of leadership. You know?
He said let him do what he was going to do. I'm not changing that. You just need to let me know where that is.
No, I would be changing that.
I intend to let him do whatever he needs to do. I just intend to be there.
Oh, as the guardian.
Yes. Everyone else is safe. I need to be with him. Since you know where he is, you need to take me there.
I don't really work for you, though. You got to really work on your emotional bonding. The duty thing is a real proud thing. I totally dig it in some regards, but you got to kind of work with that friendship thing.
Let's be friends and go for a walk then, shall we?
I'm going to go this way.
I motion outward towards the direction she came from.
She goes in the opposite direction to where your party is.
I will pay you equal to what he gave you. Accompany me to find him.
She holds out her hand. That's a gold.
Let's hope I still have one of those. I do. Let's mark one of them bad boys off.
Okay. Okay.
Welcome to
And
play
she
with
goes-
Vivian.
She goes, okay, follow me. All right, Firebrand. You go up to the this astute academy of grouping. An acolyte will come up to you and basically go,
Yeah,
may I help you?
New to the city, and I saw the wording on the side of the building, and it piqued my interest. I had to come over and see what exactly this building contained.
You're a disciple of the arcane arts.
Yes, of course.
I see. Well, you must come inside, please.
No, why? Thank you. What is what's going on here? What are you? A part of?
We are the this is a learning center for all those of the arcane arts. We are known. This area here is known as the court of the Azure Owl.
Ah, so it's an academy, a school.
Yes, it's where the city makes sure that those of arcane arts can learn, practice, and be safe, and yet also help the city as needed in its benefits.
Very interesting.
But the teachers will teach you more. Please come inside.
Oh, well, I don't. I'm not here to be a student. I just thought I was interested in finding out more.
If you are practicing the arcane arts, you must come inside. You will be happy that you'll have a chance to peruse what we may have.
Does he seem fishy or anything?
Roll an insight check, please.
Ooh, hell yeah. 19.
He seems genuine. There's definitely something that he's not filling in, but he also seems to be kind of like, in a way, protective of you. Like he kind of wants to. It's a way of kind of like sending someone in an embrace of an area to say like, would you please just step in here? Could you be out of like the way of the road type of thing? That's what you're kind of getting out of it in his.
So he seems like he seems like he's more like it's safer if we talk in here than if we hang out here type of thing. Okay.
So
why don't you show me around.
All right, you'll be led inside. And you are
the air conditioning's good. We got some coffee.
Yeah, you're
Anything harder?
the arcane stuff that you see. There's a lot more, like a lot of statues, armor along the walls. colored mirrors, tapestries everywhere, and you're starting to see lots of lines of books and things of that sort, and a lot of like study chambers going through on the initial part of it. The first building they're going through, there are a number of young acolytes that are just studying in small little rooms with private little small libraries and stuff. Nothing too impressive yet, but the fact that they're indeed all learning. But you do notice they're all wearing clothes from that, and these white owl masks.
I mean, it's kind of interesting to me seeing this going on because I've never studied magic in a human city or anything. I was just starting to learn that I had power, and then I did all my study in the fake.
Yeah.
So this is all new to me, and it's like, whoa, wow! How do humans usually go about learning?
Yeah, it's an amazing amount of structure to this arcane art that you're just getting drawn to. You feel like you're picking up a little bit of possibly things out because you are a wizard, which gives you a little bit more insight of being able to pick up some things that could be attuned to magic that you could pick up, especially if there are spells. If they do have these type of resources, you could actually influence your spell book, which is kind of tingling in your mindset of that. All right, party back at Apollo's temple. So about an hour's gone by, and now 3 members are lost. They have not returned. Do you want to go in and take a peruse of the refreshments, or do you wish to go look?
Well, I would be against going look for them because we don't need everybody lost.
Has Alexei come out of the temple yet?
Did you go in, Lexi, to kind of secure?
Yeah, I went in
hospitality?
to introduce myself, make my prayers, let him know that I had a party here who was looking for, some shade to sit in, some light refreshments, kind of thing. I'm not expecting them to provide a banquet meal, but I can ask for free healing and care. So.
Okay.
But I would certainly take the time to introduce myself and discuss my pedigree.
All right, a rather young priestess. Introduce yourselves as Cookie. Will definitely greet you. Oops, that meant to be everybody else. She'll say yes. As a follower, I will definitely provide some hospitality and refreshments. So you're please come inside, and we'll set a room that you may rest and produce up some fruit and some wine.
That is most gracious. Thank you very much.
So everybody gonna go inside, or you want to leave one of you out there to be the supposed connection point to HK?
I mean, I'm outside playing my little songs with my little donation hat. So.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sitting there listening and waiting.
Okay. So I guess Ubenn and Pepper will go inside. So the two of you are up there playing for the team, waiting for HK to return. HK, she will lead you up to this building. There's a couple of people outside these blue robes with white masks that is adorned with this heraldry of the blue owl, with also white mask, and runes, archaic runes. He went here.
Go back and tell the others to stay at the Temple of Apollo. I will find him. I'm late for the check-in.
All right.
And
So
please do that directly.
Yeah.
I will knock on the door.
Show no trust
You're
over.
met by an acolyte. He goes, "May I help you?"
I am
I'm sorry. You must be in the wrong. You're in the wrong place, sir.
I am of the Summer Court of the Fae, and I am seeking Firebrand.
That name is not known to me.
He came here just recently to visit this place.
Tall, goofy guy.
Okay. May you please wait as I try to find more information about this out.
Please do. It is of the utmost importance.
He will allow you to stand inside the chamber, but he tells you you may not
I will do
wander
no
around.
such thing. I will, however, look around to see what kind of defenses they have.
Give me a perception check.
Nine.
You don't see anything too right off the bat. It seems much very like some type of academy or schooling. So it doesn't look like a fortification type of aspect to you. At best, at your earliest
It is a heck of
glimpses.
a nice door, though.
Yes, it's an impressive door. So Firebrand, you are brought basically to a nice room. It has lined with books, and he goes, I'm going to go fetch the headmaster. You are more than welcome to relax here.
Okay, sounds great. Mind if I look around the books and stuff?
Go ahead. And I'll have tea brought in for you as well.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
So you look around, and it seems to be a lot of old history of the realms, and a lot about the dynasties. Seem to be pages upon that, and the families of all the dynasties.
All right, I'll just kind of peruse them and kind of skim them and retain what I can.
All right. About a half hour or so, Jew and Alec, Vivian returns.
Ah,
HK, he's gonna get your wizard.
Oh, HK found him?
they found him.
Well, I found it, and then I let him to so he can do his duty.
Oh, well, it's good to see that you're helping out the party, Vivian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Oh, what age range?
Cool.
I just go about playing again.
About what age is Vivian?
Old enough.
I've actually I don't think anyone's ever asked. Vivian is 20.
She's between 18 and 45. Somewhere in that range.
Explains part of the attitude. Very well.
She is.
Well,
Just remember,
we'll let her
no
know
one is
that
older than 29.
you are more than welcome to and listen to Alec play, or Alexi's inside doing his thing.
What's his thing?
Alexi stuff.
What's Alexi stuff? I don't know what Alexi stuff is. I'm new.
He's praying and yeah, la la la.
I think he's one of those religious types.
Oh.
Probably
Okay.
I don't know. Sacrificing
That
goats
one?
and boars.
Oh, nothing so crude.
Is that why he summons those things?
Oh, Jew.
Hello. You guys gonna say I deserted? I'm gonna make up.
We didn't make up
something,
those
so,
stories. The DM told us.
He's in there. To the church, so I'm sure he's gathering some additional info.
Okay.
Don't wander off. We don't need to lose anybody else.
I'm right here.
I see that.
And she walks away.
I'm right here.
I'm right here. Oh, walks away.
She sits on the steps of the Apollo, and she's flicking a coin.
Could be flicking something else, so I guess this is good.
Whoa, oh.
How old is Firebrand? 12?
You lost a lot of years though.
Just about, yeah. I'm like 100, but it doesn't seem that long.
Mentally 12.
All right,
Well, now 14 because he's into women.
Firebrand, you are met by another member in a basic blue robes and a very intricate white mask, but it has much more a floral black linings around him, like around the eyes and stuff like that, kind of making more of an owl feature.
So it's more intricate. Fancier.
So he's definitely very, and his robes are also blue, but they have white vine type of embroidery on the edges of all that stuff. He goes, my young student tells me you have arrived at our door. Let me introduce myself. I am the headmaster, Castor, the High Store.
Castor. It's a pleasure to meet you, Castor. My name is Firebrand. I was formerly known as Aileron.
Well met, Firebrand. What somewhat of arcane ability? What brings you to Kylos?
Just passing through, actually.
Oh,
And
where are you headed?
To Falstad. Forstad.
Ah, interesting location to choose. One of your ability and skills do not often find themselves at Forstad. Why would you travel there? If I may inquire.
You may ask, but it is a mission that I won't go into detail on.
I see,
Private matter.
I see. Are you alone in this endeavor, or you must
Oh
have
no,
an entourage?
I have companions.
I see. Well, be safe. Forstad is a very difficult place to get into.
I have not actually been before. This will be my first time, much like it's my first time in Kylos.
It is an amazing city. It's many things and help function much of the world, but the travel to Forstad is ripe with danger. Like I said, be careful.
Yes, I think we're already expecting trouble in forest. There's a forest full of large lizard dinosaur creatures.
Yes, whatever you do, please do not lie.
Okay. That's good to know. That's a good
Yes,
insight.
the beasts that fly amongst there tend to swallow little guys.
What about large ones made of metal?
They'll swallow anything because of the given size. He may live, but as you may know, algae, bellies are made of acidic properties. Yeah. You may not come out all that whole.
That is very good information to know. Thank you. That'll save me a lot of trouble in the near future. What? Go ahead.
No, you go right.
Apologies. Go ahead. I was just curious about what sort of studies exactly take place here. How your acolytes, you call them, how they go about learning and growing their powers in the arcane arts.
We have many accomplished folks of the arcane ability, and we have a grand library. The Hawkins dynasty here of the city of Kylo has stood much of time, and unfortunately in some aspects, have been grasped in many generations of war. So we've had to learn in many practical matters and learn many magical combat techniques.
So
where did you
not in any of the cities of the area? Not in your traditional forms of education.
I see. You seem to be a man on a mission of good. I feel.
I believe
yes?
so. Yes.
May I give you a bracelet with the token of our owl?
If you believe that that would help in my endeavors, as I
will help.
do believe they are good, I think I would greatly appreciate the gift.
This will just keep any, as long as you do not cast within the city, something destructive, this will keep the Storm Templars off your case. Please,
Are
take it.
the Storm Templars the guardians of the city?
They are a devotee, a priest to Zeus, but we've had some issues with mages in the past, granted, that have been a little bit more than their own power. You seem to be on a cause of duty of good, and I do not want you to be mistaken by them. They are rather zealots in that regard, and we've had some opposition with them in the city to encounter politics. So I've had to use a lot of favor with the king to make sure that many of our arcane folk here are able to practice without that prejudice by their
Thank
king.
you. I'm not used to being in a city setting, and it's not. This is by far the largest city I've ever been in. Other than this, it's been small cities and the village that I grew up in.
This is a mighty city, and if you wish, if you are done with your adventure, and it's which I will pray for, then I hope you will return here and willing to help us with anything you find and come across, as well as we'll try to help you grow and learn as well.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
You mentioned how Forstad is known for their technological prowess, their innovation. Do you have any knowledge of Warforged? Are you familiar with them?
Yes.
Do you know? It seems like they might know more of it, but you know, this seems like a well-learned academy where you guys are very knowledgeable. Do you have any knowledge? Has there been any innovation in kind of maybe magically infused oils or some way to enhance their already substantial abilities with their natural armor? Is that something that you're familiar with?
I am aware of that practice. Many of the dwarven and known wizards of Forstad have done that with very special members of their army, I believe, or predecessors. They have been in conflict with a Drow society below that area. It is like I said, it's a troublesome city, which is a marvel that you're going to, that such huge creatures of lizards prowl their land, so they're not able to farm it or cultivate it or do much with it because of that danger. And then below, this warlike race has tried to do much of its conquest that has forced them to use much of their hard-earned resources and technologies and capacities to combat them. So it is a troubled city indeed.
Interesting that.
Yeah,
it's interesting you mentioned that. Do you know much about the Drow society underground there?
I know some. It is not something I put much interest in terms of needs, because we have other threats within our own empire to work out.
In your studies, have you found though any maybe spells that are particularly more effective in combating them?
Yes, you would. Anything that can manifest daylight or type of radiant, they are akin to despise light type of attacks. They are more likely to try to make things black and dark for you to deal
is there any, as this is an academy, is there any spells that that would have this effect that I might be able to learn while I'm here?
Depending on, it would take me a week to ascertain your level of competence and then find the right spells that would you be able to learn. But if you're willing to stay for that time,
I'd
I
have
would
to
be willing
confer
teach
with
you.
my companions. I can't, you know,
You know where we are.
by myself delay in what we were doing. I think a week would be too long. We are on a fairly important mission, you know, without giving it away. But we will be anticipate encountering the Drow. So I was, you know, I thought maybe I would be able to find something.
Well, a well-versed student in the aspects that you're going to, I will tell you, you are going to meet very competent spellcasters in return. Haste is a not a well-suited thing of our class type to choose. It may be something that a fighter would be willing to rush into because he's going to believe that his arms will carry the way. But a student in the mind takes the time to prepare the mind. Otherwise, you will find yourself in much folly.
Yes, it's unfortunately a necessary evil, if you will, as we are against the clock. A time crunch, if you will, a ticking time portal, so to speak.
Well, you are welcome to come here. I will have words that the acolytes will be watchful of you. You have the bracelet to allow you entrance. And I will see you when you are capable then.
So,
Well met.
yes, it was a pleasure meeting you as well. Thank you.
Very well. And Castor will leave. The acolyte help you lead you out, and then you will find HK, who is probably very annoyed for waiting probably about an hour and a half looking for you, and then an hour or so waiting in that very same spot at the front door for you.
Hey, buddy.
Firebrand.
Hey, you're looking good, man.
You're
I think
looking
there's,
tardy.
something in the air here.
You do
Oh,
realize you do realize that you walked off on your own.
Oh, I thought I saw Vivian. I told her where I was going.
Again.
I'm sorry. I saw
She's
this
not to be
temple.
trusted.
I saw these arcane symbols, and I was in the back, and I just had to. I didn't even think I had to. I had to come.
So next
see what I had to investigate.
So
I had to
next
see what it
time,
was.
stop, signal the group, and the group will stop and wait with you.
I'll make sure to do that. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I did ask. I did find out something. Where we're going, Forstad, they have
Yes.
knowledge of magically infused oils used by Warforged.
Really?
We're gonna find out about this, buddy. They told me about it, and we're gonna inquire when we get there. We're gonna ramp you up.
That sounds
But
like a good plan.
But
Let us get back quickly. I'm well over the
I have
amount of
bad
time I
news to
should have
go
been
with good
gone.
news.
Let's walk and talk.
All right, let's walk and talk. As we're walking, hey, where we're going, that fort
Yes.
that has dinosaurs, flying's a no-go, so I won't be making you fly.
Fair enough.
There's apparently flying creatures that will eat you right out of the air.
Okay.
So if I forget and make you fly, just don't do it. Just a head.
Well, if you do end up having to make me fly for some reason, I'll be sure to stay low.
While we're walking and talking, also, I did ask that's an academy for wizards. Can you believe that there's such a thing?
Really?
I've never learned from regular human wizards, so it's kind of a. I didn't know that's what they had. I didn't know they had whole giant schools. But I was talking with the headmaster, and I asked him when we were talking about Forstad and started talking about Drow, and he told me that spells that can create daylight or cause radiant damage are especially effective against them, which you may know, but you're used to the more physical martial aspects of war with the Drow. He said I could learn something, but it would take a week. I told him I'd have to talk to you guys because I didn't think we had that kind of time. But I want to bring it up so we can discuss it as a group and decide if that's something we think might be worth it in the long run, or if we need to keep moving fast.
So you can learn how to do that within a week, but we'd have to stay here that long. Unless you can do anyway,
okay.
Correct?
I'm not sure exactly what else you can do.
Well, it's a radiant would be of the sun, so the gifts of Apollo must.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just telling you what the opportunity I was given, so we could discuss it. I told him I didn't think we had that time, but he said, if after discussing it, we do to come back, I could learn. If not, no big deal. I thought I'd throw it out. Maybe more than one source of this type of weapon against the Drow might be good. Not all our eggs in one basket type of situation.
Yeah.
You guys come up upon Alec, Jew, and Vivian at this time.
As I see them approach, I kind of go into my tip bowl, see my tips, and then flip one of the coins to Vivian and say 12%.
HK, you found our wanderer.
I did.
One might say.
Took a long time, but I did find it.
One might say I went AWOL, hey, Jew.
Yeah, seems that way.
Yeah. Oh, I figured if anybody recognized what it was, then it would be you.
Yes, I see your humor is just as loose as your legs are and your eyes when it comes to leaving the
Much
party.
like you left your former army and allegiances.
Do we have an issue?
I know, do we?
I know.
Do we?
I wasn't.
We do not.
I'm gonna draw my sword.
I put my hand on his
I'm
hand.
just gonna all the ruins of my staff light up.
I stand between both of them.
We've got a mission that we're trying to accomplish. We can't be just wandering aimlessly, doing our own thing. We're supposed to be a group. We're supposed to remain together.
Well, I was finding out some information, Jew.
Well, you could have let us
someday
all
you'll
know
do
what
that as well.
information you need to find. This city is not one to just wander in
Well,
if you're not familiar with it and you've never been here before.
yes, I'm sure you remember every corner you rape and
I
pillage your way
think,
through.
my friends, we can leave it at this. Firebrand, you will let us know when you need to do some kind of side mission quest or step around, as we did going to the Fade Forest. You let me know, so the group was able to back you up. If you disappear on your own, we don't have that ability. I believe that's exactly what Jew was trying to indicate in his own way.
I will make sure to let. As I told you, HK, I'll make sure going forward to let you
We're
know.
all a little tense. We need to relax. And perhaps this is a good time for some respite. was
How
Leslie
far do we
able
know
to
how far?
secure, able to secure a spot for us to rest
Well,
easy?
do we know where have to go the other side of this river, where we need to go? We need to find that before we. What time of day is it? It's probably.
We wasted a good 2 hours. We're probably not going to get there now.
It's about 4 o'clock now. It's getting a little bit later. You still have probably a couple hours of traveling into the southern part of the night of the city to get to that area.
Your little side mission without notifying us is left us here overnight. We might as well settle here, relax, take a load off, let everybody rest up from the travel, perhaps even clean themselves if such accoutrement are allowed.
There may be an inn nearby where we can stay. There's a large city.
Again, the scion of Apollo has brought us to his progenitor's home. We're waiting for word from Aleski. Jew, did Aleski tell us we had a place to stay?
He's still inside.
So we wait here for word
He's
from him.
sacrificing the boar.
As
Allegedly.
I said, I'm sure they'll get good oil from it. Ben, I'm going to look at Ubenn to see how he reacts to that little joke.
Give me a insight check.
$17.
You get the feeling that he's a little bit more on guard between the altercation between two of your more stated party members. Like he's still kind of looking. His hand is on his blades, as if he was expecting there to be some type of engagement.
Just a thought. In such an altercation, what side do I feel he would have gone with? And please just type that in. I'm not necessarily going to let it.
Give me another insight check. And because you rolled well this time, I will give you advantage.
That's going to be a 15.
Okay. All right. So, Jew, can you give me a perception check, please? 6. Okay. You pick up really nothing going on. You're pretty upset from how things kind of throw down from there. All right. You're all out. You're all outside this temple of Apollo. Who's going in to go find Aleski, or y'all just want to wait till Aleski comes out and Pepper?
It's still daylight. Well, I'll wait.
Okay.
I
So
prefer
let's-
not to just wait here all day for them.
I would agree, but this is where we said we'd meet.
All right,
Okay.
Aleski, are you coming out?
Yeah, I mean, I would make my prayers, make my introductions. Hello, I'm Lexi from the city of Umbra, blah, 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 blah. I ask my questions. So, I mean, unless it wasn't anything other than paying my polite respects to the temple. I wasn't trying to join it or anything. And
The priestess will inquire why you're in the city.
It is a stopping point on my travels. As I said, we're looking across the river, and we thought this would be the easiest place to do that. We
So
understood that.
you are traveling with other devotees of Apollo?
No. I am traveling with my company, the company of the White Flame. We are traveling with companions of another devotee of Apollo. We recently met and befriended Aurora in the city of Flowerdale. And one of her companions two of her companions have joined our group and traveled with us.
Because
One of her companions has joined our group and traveled with us. Another of her companions has accompanied our group and is traveling with us.
oh, you're Reckland Gray's group.
Yes. His memory is a blessing. His passing was a great loss to the light in this world. But,
Oh, he has fallen,
he has fallen.
and we are sad to hear.
But we continue his efforts to drive the darkness from the land and bring the light to all corners of the world.
It is a blessing that you are leading the new company of the White Flame under Reckland's name.
I am not the leader. Alaron, Firebrand, has kind of taken up the mantle of leadership in our travels.
Firebrand, I see.
But we all act in Reckland's name and memory.
Well, his blessing, we will give Apollos the blessings. If there's anything else, just let us know. We are more than willing to help.
Your help is greatly appreciated, and thank you for the information about the ferry. That is our next. We'll move on and continue on to our next destination, which is Forstad.
You're going to Forstad.
We are.
That is not a very good place to go.
It may not be a good place, but it is the best place for us right now.
Well, may Apollo find his rays of sunshine upon you.
His light shall fall upon us and follow us wherever we go in our travels.
She will nod to you out. All right, so you go outside. The whole party's out there. Give me an insight check, please, Oleski.
Because I'm so good at that. I'm 17. I'm pretty good
Yeah.
today.
There seems to be a little bit of a tiff, oddly enough, with the original members of your party.
Surprise, surprise.
It'd be pretty cool, but there seems to be some type of some effect that kind of went down. But Firebrand is back. Everyone seems to be out there. So that looks good. Just seems like not many people are happy. It's the quietest you have ever heard.
Except when I was unhappy and was really quiet.
Yes.
So, oh, excellent. It looks like everybody has returned and we're all once again together. I have directions to the ferry. There's one along the riverbank. We should be able to get to it relatively easily.
It goes great. The sacrifice of the board was worth it. Let's go.
We've already burnt enough time. We shall proceed. Lead the way, Alexi.
All right. Not that I'm all that familiar with cities this large, but
Okay, perception
can
check
find the
with
riverbank.
advantage.
Oh, I can help you navigate towards the riverbank. I
Right.
just know the-
Alaron will stand near me.
Even with advantage, it was a 9.
Am I going to stand next to you, or are you going to stand next to me?
I'm in the front, so you're going to stand next to me.
He's gonna have a hand on the nape of your neck
Yeah.
the whole time.
You just made it sound like it's my choice, but I have a feeling it isn't.
It's not. Forgive me if I gave you that impression. It is not your choice.
We've already established. I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang out with you anyway.
The area you're going in is congested of a populace of Kylos. There are tons of buildings, hundreds and hundreds of people that live down here, and crowding the streets, doing all their stuff, getting later day, already heading home. You see Apollo's sun start to fall past the mountain. Past the castle walls. It gets very dark. The city though illuminates very quickly with these gas lights that erupt all across the street. So there are definitely shadowy areas with very tight buildings that are put together, but the main streets are illuminated enough for you to walk. There are a number of city watch that makes it seem safe. There doesn't seem to be too much of the prowlers. Not to mention you're a very large, well-equipped party that people would want to tussle with you unless they have an interest in it. But it's a lot of walking around. You guys are hungry. You're tired. Before you finally get your navigation, that you now find yourselves, which seems to be a post sign that says the Southern Gate, and you see one last tavern before you leave the gates called the Wind of the North. That you can hopefully you can go in and peruse the room, before you head out in the morning to try to get to outside the city gates to the ferry. And before you go in and do that, we will wrap it up here and pick it up in a month. That's where we're going to try to get things situated easier for everyone here.
All right. So what date?
Give me some time to kind of look at that.
Give him a perception check.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
You notice on the calendar, one Monday, 4 weeks from now.
Yes. You have me. So it's a Monday. Let's shoot for. Does the 22nd work for everybody in September? Oh, I'm sorry, the 21st.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I'll say yes
Yeah,
right now, but
is that the same weekend that you're doing your other campaign?
Shit, it better not be.
I don't remember. Or oh no, I'm thinking August.
Yeah,
you have
that
it
would
later
be
this month, right?
anyway.
I think it was the 20 something in August. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a Sunday, but I mean that's still fine. I can still get a lot more done that way.
Yeah.
That way. No, I think I only did
Yeah.
August.
Yeah, I think
so
you
I only
only
did
did
20 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all right now. It'll be fine. So yeah, we'll do 21st of September for this, and then I will get it not so close for the Angels and Demons campaign for the others, which was cool for you, Barbara.